On the other side of humanity's coin, we have Donald Trump Jr., who was in court again this morning. There he is. You hear the protesters chanting, crime family, and that is basically what these people are, a crime family, a very dumb crime family, the Gambozos, if you will, and Don Jr., he's so embarrassing. He's on the stand, he's testifying in this $250 million fraud trial, and he has to compliment, he said his father is an artist.
Don Jr. just got absolutely obliterated by Jimmy Kimmel, and then Trump completely lost it. Look, when the Trump family gets roasted on late-night TV, the spotlight usually stays on Trump himself. But for years now, Jimmy Kimmel has been relentlessly dismantling Donald Trump Jr., and it's been ruthless. The funniest part? It always ends up getting under Trump's skin, too. And before we break down this latest round of pure carnage...
I'm not supposed to rely on a big five accounting firm, like one of the biggest accounting firms in the world. I can pay them millions of dollars. I rely on them to do accounting, but I'm supposed to know more than them. By this logic, insurance companies are going to start suing patients for listening to their doctors. Right? Do you understand? Like, am I supposed to know more? Oh, Don Jr. doesn't know anything about it. I'm not an accountant. I'm a business guy.
I'm a business guy who had his elbows soldered together, and now...
And if you want more content calling out Trump and his family's nonstop hypocrisy, hit that subscribe button right now. Seriously, smash the like button, drop a comment letting me know what you think about Don Jr., and make sure you're subscribed, because we're covering all the chaos the mainstream media conveniently ignores. All right, let's get into it. Let me walk you through the carnage. It starts with the cosplay grits gobbler incident. September 2025. Trump posts an AI-generated video of himself dancing with the Cracker Barrel logo mascot after the restaurant walked back a redesign. Weird flex, but okay. And of course, who rushes in to defend it? Don Jr.
And while Don Jr. was in New York preparing to testify in court, his fiancée Kimberly was at the party dressed up as Trump's constituents, Snow White. Don Jr. was not at Daddy Donald's last night. The prodigal son was being grilled as part of the $250 million case against their business. There he is, tiny soprano. I wonder what's going through his head right now.
I should have worn makeup.
Oh, yeah, good one. Here's the thing about Don Jr. What he lacks in intelligence, he also lacks in charisma.
So Don Jr. fires off. WTF is wrong with Cracker Barrel? Like he's suddenly the self-appointed defender of Southern comfort food. And Kimmel's response? Absolutely savage. He calls him out as a cosplay grits gobbler, a New York prep school Nepo baby, whining about Cracker Barrel. WTF is wrong with Cracker Barrel? Kimmel repeats, then drops the dagger, as if he's ever even been to one. And that's the whole point. Don Jr. is a Manhattan prep school kid worth millions, cosplaying as some down-home patriot. Kimmel nailed it in the most perfect way possible. Cosplay grits gobbler. I mean, come on, that's poetry. And the best part? This wasn't a one-off. Kimmel has been methodically building this case against Don Jr. for years. Don Jr. tags along with his dad to watch Elon Musk's SpaceX rocket launch in Texas. It should have been a harmless photo op, right? Except the cameras caught something interesting, and suddenly the jokes wrote themselves. Because at this point, Cracker Barrel might as well be Amish Applebee's.
The SpaceX cocaine incident, November 2024.
Then Don Jr. reaches into his pocket, pulls his hand back out, and on live TV starts rubbing his finger across his gums. Multiple times. Now, I'm not saying what that was, but Jimmy Kimmel definitely had some thoughts. Let's not jump to conclusions. Kimmel joked after replaying the clip in slow motion. Maybe he's got some fun dip in there. Maybe his veneers were hurting and he needed a little dab of Sensodyne. The crowd absolutely lost it, because let's be honest, everyone knows exactly what gum rubbing looks like.
Cracker Barrel is Amish Applebee's. It's Apple B-. It's barely a restaurant. It's a restaurant that sells yo-yos made of wood, okay? Calm down. But all the woke yokels were up in arms. Even cosplay grits gobbler, New York prep school Nepo baby Don Jr. whined, WTF is wrong with Cracker Barrel, as if he's ever been to a Cracker Barrel. You ruined my rocking chair store. Maybe my favorite bit of misplaced outrage came from this gentleman who wrote, they got rid of a white guy from a logo and they are celebrating and patting themselves on the back for it. Yeah, yes, it's racism. White men are being erased from American logos. It's Caucasian icon genocide. I mean...
And this wasn't some private moment. Don Jr. did it at a major public event, on camera, standing right next to the president-elect. The internet immediately exploded. Typical Coke move. People commented, who carries loose cocaine in their pocket? Others rushed to his defense, saying maybe it was ZYN, maybe it was a nicotine pouch. But here's the thing, these allegations didn't come out of nowhere. Don Jr. has been dealing with this reputation for years. He's shown up on broadcast sniffling, rubbing his nose, talking with way too much manic energy. At one Turning Point conference, he even felt compelled to say out loud, unprompted, I don't snort cocaine. It's not my thing. And when someone has to say that on stage, people notice.
You know, I mentioned last night Trump was the guest of honor at a launch event for Elon Musk's new rocket, and he wasn't the only Donald Trump. Don Jr. was there, and he's been getting some unwanted attention for this. Now, let's look at that again in slow motion. He goes to the pocket, he fishes around, and well, let's not jump to conclusion. Maybe he's got some fun dip in there, you know.
When you have to deny something that's specific, yeah, people notice. And Kimmel didn't even need to say much. He just played the footage and let the audience connect the dots. Sometimes the best comedy is simply holding up a mirror. But wait, because it somehow gets even better or worse, depending on whether you're Don Jr. enter the allowance takedown. Back in November 2024, Don Jr. posted a photo of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky with the caption, POV, you're 38 days from losing your allowance.
I get it. My guys, who I stayed in touch with, many of them just dear friends, they're like, hey, dude, there's no way you would have gotten away with that. I go, I know. Luckily, I don't snort cocaine. Like, it's not my thing.
The implication was obvious. Trump would cut off aid to Ukraine, a country that's been fighting a Russian invasion since 2022. Kimmel's response was immediate and brutal. Bold words from a man who is definitely still on his father's phone plan, he said. Then he twisted the knife even deeper. If I were Donald Trump Jr., I would never use the word allowance in any context. What is his job exactly? Being horrible for a living. And really, sit with that for a second.
His veneers were hurting and he needed a little dollop of Sensodyne. Whatever it was, it didn't stop DJ TJ from posting another super cool TikTok video from inside a rocket that unfortunately did not launch with him in it.
We're actually inside a Falcon Heavy rocket right now. Does not get cooler than this. Each one of these engines has the equivalent of 4 747 engines, each one. And there's dozens of them in these rockets. But each one of these guys, 4 747 engines.
He's fine, everybody. There's nothing to worry about at all. Where's Hunter?
Don Jr., a 46-year-old man whose entire career exists solely because of his last name, is mocking a wartime president over allowances. A leader guiding his country through an actual invasion, while Don Jr.'s greatest achievements amount to posting online and hawking overpriced merch. Kimmel made that contrast crystal clear. He praised Zelensky for leading his nation through the darkest imaginable circumstances, only to be mocked by someone who's never accomplished anything without his father's money or surname. That's not just comedy. That's a character takedown built entirely on facts.
With real estate. Yeah, he's an artist. He's Vincent Van going to jail with real estate is what he is. boasted that his dad is the father of hotel gyms. He said, maybe someone put a gym in a building somewhere, but no one did it at the scale of my father. He's saying that his father, the father of the hotel gym, is a guy who's never stepped inside one, okay? The amount of ass kissing in this trial is insane. DJ TJ, of course, denies any and all wrongdoing and is instead going with the "our accountants did it" defense.
The China hypocrisy exposed. September 2024. Jimmy Kimmel went shopping, specifically, on Don Jr.'s MAGA merch site. You know the one. Hats and gear plastered with FJB and nonstop America First posturing. The site proudly claims the products are designed and embroidered in the USA. Patriotic branding cranked to 11. Except, Kimmel noticed something. They don't even try to hide it anymore. Kimmel said, I guess they don't have to. Nobody seems to notice. So he tested it. He ordered one of the hats himself. When it arrived, made in China. America First, manufactured overseas. Anti-China rhetoric, funded by Chinese factories. It wasn't speculation. It wasn't a rumor. It was literally stitched into the label. And that's what made it devastating. Kimmel didn't need a rant. He just held up the hat and let the hypocrisy speak for itself. Because nothing sums up the Trump brand quite like selling outrage about China, shipped straight from...
I move my arms like a Muppet all the time. And with all the complaining the Trumps do about this trial playing out in the media, you could barely even turn the channel without seeing their lawyer doing an interview with somebody.
What have they been asking the kids? And tell me how they fit into all of this.
They don't fit into all of this. What have they been asking the kids? It's very simple. They'll ask the kids, did you give a value to somebody? Did you do something? And everybody said resoundingly no. And these kids did nothing wrong. They should not be in this case. Ivanka's already out of the case. The boys should not be in the case.
That's right. They're just boys. They're kids. Eric has a book report due this weekend. They're both still wearing pull-ups. They're on trial? I mean, come on.
The China hypocrisy exposed. September 2024. Jimmy Kimmel went shopping, specifically, on Don Jr.'s MAGA merch site. You know the one. Hats and gear plastered with FJB and nonstop America First posturing. The site proudly claims the products are designed and embroidered in the USA. Patriotic branding cranked to 11. Except, Kimmel noticed something. They don't even try to hide it anymore. Kimmel said, I guess they don't have to. Nobody seems to notice. So he tested it. He ordered one of the hats himself. When it arrived, made in China. America First, manufactured overseas. Anti-China rhetoric, funded by Chinese factories. It wasn't speculation. It wasn't a rumor. It was literally stitched into the label. And that's what made it devastating. Kimmel didn't need a rant. He just held up the hat and let the hypocrisy speak for itself. Because nothing sums up the Trump brand quite like selling outrage about China, shipped straight from it.
We sent somebody to his golf course. He has a golf course in Palos Verdes, not far from here, and also to Trump Tower in New York, where many of the items for sale, the Trump items, are made in, guess where? That's right, China. This pink knit scarf, this beautiful item, made in China. These Trump flasks, this shot glass, this very patriotic water bottle, this Trump, the American flag hat, made in China, this Trump military jacket, all made in China. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Don Jr. is always talking about China. Kimmel pointed out, my father was tough on China. Hunter Biden's supposedly in bed with China. But the labels on Don Jr.'s products tell a different story. There it is. Don Jr. built his brand on America First rhetoric while selling Chinese-made merchandise to his supporters. That's not just hypocrisy. That's grifting. And Kimmel called it exactly what it was.
It's beyond shameless. Now, this product is not an official. He does not, as far as I know, make any money from this. But this is an original piece of art. It's called Trumpy Trout. It's kind of like, you remember the Billy Bass? They came up with the Trumpy Trout. This is actually for sale. And if you...
I'm the biggest Trump in the pod, and there is no bigger Trump than me, and probably never will be. Let's make fishing great again.
Yeah, right. It's like,
And hey, if you're enjoying this breakdown of how Kimmel's been exposing the Trump family, do me a favor. Pause the video real quick and hit that like button. It actually helps us reach more people who need to see this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We do deep dives like this every week. Drop a comment and tell me which Trump family member you want us to cover next. All right, back to it. Here's what makes Kimmel's systematic destruction of Don Jr. so effective. He doesn't rely on insults. He uses Don Jr.'s own actions, words, and products against him.
Don and Don Jr. had some father and son event this weekend. They went to the UFC fight at Madison Square Garden. There they are. Trump's being cheered on. With he's got Dana White there. He's got Tucker Carlson in the back. He's got Kid Rock in tow. And, of course, oh, yeah, there we go, a little fist bump. Don Jr. was thrilled to be a part of the group. He posted this picture of him and Tuck cackling in their blue checker print shirts. A couple of banana Republicans right there.
And the Cracker Barrel thing? That's Don Jr. pretending to be something he's not. The SpaceX incident? That's his own behavior caught on camera. The Ukraine Post? That's his words revealing his privilege and cruelty. The China merchandise? That's his grift exposed. Kimmel just holds up the evidence and lets everyone see who Don Jr. really is. A privileged Nepo baby playing dress-up as a working-class warrior, while selling his supporters Chinese-made junk and mocking world leaders who are actually doing something important.
And before I share this, I'd like to remind you, this is a post from the President of the United States. He wrote, as previously mentioned, we are giving serious thought to taking away Rosie's citizenship. She is not a great American and is, in my opinion, incapable of being so. Here's the thing, whenever he's spitting out, he goes back to Rosie. That's his safe space. He zeroes out. Calling her fat is what makes him comfortable. Meanwhile, she's about half his weight now. In fact, this photo he posted... She posted the photo. This photo he posted looks really more like him than her.
Then Trump gets involved. But here's where it gets really interesting. Because every time Kimmel goes after Don Jr., it eventually leads back to Trump. And Trump just can't help himself. Remember, this is the guy who celebrated when Colbert got canceled, who threatened to revoke ABC's license over Kimmel, and who claimed Kimmel's suspension was because of bad ratings, when everyone knows it was political pressure. The pattern is clear. Late-night hosts mock the Trump family, and Trump tries to destroy their careers.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent.
Look at this. The Biden FBI placed 274 agents into the crowd on January 6th. If this is so, which it is, a lot of very good people will be owed big apologies. What a scam. Do something, President DJT. Joe Biden planting 274 FBI agents in the crowd is diabolical, especially considering the fact he somehow did this 2 weeks before becoming president. For a brain-dead vegetable, he couldn't even sign his own name. Somehow Joe Biden was able to get a lot of stuff done. It's amazing.
In September 2025, after Kimmel returned from his suspension, Trump posted on Truth Social, "I can't believe ABC fake news gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back." He added that the White House was told ABC had canceled his show. Then he went further. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who puts the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage? Trump called him yet another arm of the DNC, and then accused the network of effectively making an illegal campaign contribution.
Moments after we taped our show last night, the Mad Red Hatter wrote, "I can't believe ABC fake news gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back." You can't believe they gave me my job back. I can't believe we gave you your job back. Brendan Carr, the chairman of the FCC, telling an American company, we can do this the easy way or the hard way, and that these companies can find ways to change conduct and take action on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead, in addition to being a direct violation of the First Amendment, is not a particularly intelligent threat to make in public. Ted Cruz said he sounded like a mafioso. Although, I don't know, if you want to hear a mob boss make a threat like that, you have to hide a microphone in a deli and park outside in a van with a tape recorder all night long. This genius said it on a podcast. Brendan Carr is the most embarrassing car Republicans have embraced since this one. And that's saying something.
Then the threat. I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. Read that again. The President of the United States is openly bragging about extracting money from media companies and threatening to do it again. That's not governing. That's extortion. And the bigger picture? Kimmel's takedown of Don Jr. matters because it exposes the entire Trump family operation.
Not sure we're even allowed to show his neck on TV. Wouldn't it be funny if the FCC fined us for showing his neck on TV? Trump went on, I never like taking pictures from underneath angles, but this is a super bad picture and deserves to be called out. What are they doing and why? It's like he's a TikTok influencer yelling at her boyfriend for not knowing her angles. The photographer for Time could not be reached for comment. He is currently en route to El Salvador, but poor Kim Jong-un, his big day is ruined, and I'll tell you what, if he doesn't like the cover photo, wait till he sees the back of the magazine. I don't know how he's going to spank himself with that. Trump is threatening to make irreversible cuts if there's a shutdown, which, you know what, I was recently the victim of a government shutdown. They are reversible, I will tell you that.
Don Jr. is the perfect example of everything wrong with this dynasty. The fake populism guy grew up in Manhattan penthouses, went to elite prep schools, and now pretends he's just a regular guy who loves Cracker Barrel. Then there's the grift, selling Chinese-made products to his supporters while demonizing China. The cruelty, mocking a wartime president when he's never faced anything difficult in his life. And the nepotism, his only job qualification is his last name. Yet he acts like he earned it.
It's the show the FCC doesn't want you to see. We're doing something fun tonight. We're doing something unprecedented tonight. Now, although I think it's unprecedented, I did not bother to check.